Welcome to Social Calibration, the channel dedicated to unveiling the invisible war occurring in the world right now. I go by GW. But first things first, like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be socially calibrated.
Your particular assignment is G14 classified.
Hope y'all are doing okay out there with this COVID-19 and quarantine. Today we're talking about Marvel Whiteside Parsons. He's better known as Jack Parsons. He was born on October 2nd, 1914 in Los Angeles, California. The reason I picked this subject matter is because it goes with the occult and the invisible war, things that we really aren't aware of because usually we're work, home, or the store, or visiting some family. So we really don't see everything every day. So we can't really say that the invisible war doesn't occur.
And this is stuff that the media is not putting at the forefront either.
Oh, they'll never put this out there. They'll never put it out there because they'll first of all demonize whoever as a conspiracy theorist, which is a nightmare, and you'll be laughed out of journalism basically. So that's why they really don't put this type of content on like CNN, and if they do, it's like the most basic rudimentary rated G story, and you're not going to really get any information that you really can utilize in your life. But Jack Parsons, the reason this gentleman is so interesting is because he's a rocket engineer, a chemist, and an occultist. That is the craziest combo of all time. And to even partake in any three, you have to be a pretty smart individual. Jack Parsons was a genius. That's what makes him a very interesting individual. I don't agree with everything he did, of course, as far as the occultism goes, but the rocket engineering and creating the first rockets that actually helped NASA get into space is an amazing feat. Early, as a child, he was infatuated with magic, and allegedly, they said that in his room, this guy summoned the devil, which makes a crazy, wicked story, and that's why I'm bringing this information to you. Okay, so aside from the magic and the occultism, he also was into rocketry, and basically from the years of 8 years and up, dealt with rockets until roughly 1928, where Jack Parsons started doing amateur rocket experiments. And this really piqued his interest, and that's where he really was going towards his craft in rocketry. And it's an amazing story because being an 8-year-old and dealing with rockets and magic, I mean, kids nowadays barely play with Legos. And this kid is playing with explosives?
Right.
What is that?
And the devil.
and the devil. And the devil. I'm 8 years old and want to summon the devil. Like, what are you doing? That's why I'm so interested and intrigued with this individual. In 1934, Jack Parsons dropped out of Pasadena Junior College and got accepted to Stanford University, but didn't have the money to go. So at this point in time, it was already time to get your extended education. He didn't go all the way through, so that means that this guy had basically a high school level, a high school or a diploma, and was working with rockets. Only in a perfect world, right? I can't make this story up. I cannot make this story up.
So he dropped out of Pasadena College, the community college.
He dropped out of the junior college.
Junior college,
Got accepted to Stanford University, and just didn't have the money to go, and was like, you know what, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm just gonna go for the gusto. So at that point, one of his childhood friends that he would play with rockets or launch rockets with, him and the friend, his name was Edward, got together and they met a gentleman who was a physicist whose name is Theodore von Karman. This guy was the individual who basically supplied them with the money so they could pave the way for JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratories. While working with Jet Propulsion Laboratory is when Jack Parsons really started to get the itch for the occult and started to put the job to the back burner and focus more on the occultism aspect. Why did he do that? He was infatuated from 8 years old. He was already trying to summon the demon at 8, so it would only be logical that when he got older, he was like, you know what? Now that I have more science under my...
Well, I'm asking because I'm asking, did his homeboy introduce it to him again?
No, his homeboy was just purely into rockets. Actually,
Okay, all right.
But actually, that's a good question because his friend really wasn't into the whole magic and the occultism. He was more of a scientifically inclined mind.
Okay.
Where Jack Parsons basically got tired of dealing with the jet propulsions and got sucked into the occult. And at this point, he went into a religion called Thelema. It was actually founded by Aleister Crowley. It was actually a movement by Aleister Crowley. So he would contact Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley was pretty much like, you know, what you're practicing isn't real. This is bogus. And Jack Parsons was like, you know what, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna mix science with occultism to try to get a desired effect and basically summon demons. So he put the science and the occultism together and created a portal. Yeah, a portal, a real portal. Now, remember we were talking earlier about how they don't put anything on the news and they keep stuff classified and whatnot. This is one of the things that is the classified type deals. But actually, Memorandum 6751 that actually documented the portal. And now how this all occurred was Jack Parsons did the ritual, Babylon working, opened the portal and summoned this demon. The demon came out and, of course, more than likely wanted world domination. Now, let me backtrack a little bit because when I say demon, I'm just using that term loosely because it's actually an interdimensional portal. And since it's an interdimensional portal, this is the classification that we get it as far as a demon goes. It's who knows what it is. We probably can't even utter the same words it utters or even understand the language that it speaks. So this is what the classification that was given to it was, a demon, or they lied to us. So after he opens the portal up, the being comes out, they interact with the being. They procured technology, all sorts of advanced materials, knowledge that we probably would have taken at that time, the 40s, years to get to that advancement or that level of technology. And so they got that technology. So upon opening the hole, dealing with the entity, Jack Parsons also released more entities into the surrounding areas of California. And there's no particular region where this was, but when they came out, everyone that lived in the surrounding areas were blowing up the phones, calling the military, police, saying that they were seeing entities, gray aliens, abductions were occurring. So the military comes after all of this has occurred and they're trying to figure out, see which way is up, and they know that Jack Parsons deals in the occult. So they get back to Jack Parsons and ask him, hey, did you have anything to do with what all of this craziness that's occurring? And Jack Parsons said, I might have, which means yes. So this guy opens up a portal into another dimension, breaks through another realm that I can only imagine, breaks this open, releases entities, and these entities are basically causing a whole bunch of fragments around everywhere. And I think that is one of the reasons that we possibly see shadow people, gray aliens, basically lying to you, telling you to get your trust. Oh, we come from outer space, because they're probably like, humans are so dumb, they probably don't understand what a portal is or even dimensions. But the reason that I wanted to go with Jack Parsons is because Jack Parsons, I believe, was probably one of the people who caused a lot of the stuff that people see nowadays. There have been more sightings of shadow people, and it's been more frequent, and or extraterrestrials and unexplainable events, and people have no idea. So this is where the invisible war comes into play, because these are things that you don't see that one particular individual caused that affects our lives. And I can only imagine sleeping in my room, it's pitch black, you look up and you see a shadow standing at the end of your bed, and you have no idea what's going on, You're probably so scared you don't want to even tell anybody, not knowing that there's an individual that actually opened a portal. And it seems like I'm telling you the Hellboy story, but I promise you I'm not. This is Jack Parsons all the way, 110. Oh man. But to get back to the story, Jack Parsons actually died in June 17th, 1952 at age 37 by, you would not believe, an explosion. Mind you, this guy's a chemist. He knows how to deal with chemicals. He knows what goes with what portions to use here and there, and what to mix. No, don't mix those together or you'll blow yourself up. And this guy, out of all the rockets that he's dealt with in his whole life, blows himself up mysteriously. And that's where the alleged assassination, it possibly was an assassination, maybe a suicide attempt, or he just did it by accident, which I highly doubt, because why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. But I would really like for y'all to comment and tell me what you think about this situation and Jack Parsons and him opening the portal. Do you believe in this type of information? Do you believe that it's real, or are you in the dark with it? And that's basically the invisible war occurring. Spiritual warfare. That's what it is. It's spiritual warfare. I don't know what the viewers' religions are, so I don't want to offend anyone. There's a war occurring that we don't see every day. And it's scary because the most dangerous danger is the danger you don't see.
Regardless of what the viewers may believe,
Mm-hmm.
the people that are in charge of this country believe in a certain thing, and it's not on the end of the good side.
No.
They believe on the bad side, and they practice this, and they put their practices into their work and everything that we do, and everything that they do that affects everything that we do.
Yes, exactly. And another part of the story and I'm just kind of like getting interesting bits and pieces that didn't really go with the timeline, but another interesting thing was when the military found out about his operations, they actually took over the operations and kept summoning and opening portals. So do you think that ever stopped? Negative. They're probably getting all kinds of technology they don't want the world to know about. And then you're like, in the 40s? How do you have technology like that? How would you even be able to open a portal in the 40s? They haven't even taken a rocket to space yet. And they're dealing with portals. So what is the technology like today? What are they doing today with this technology? Can you imagine what entities they're dealing with, or underground bases? Another little tidbit of information that I heard was after the military had taken over his project, basically the portal, they were actually went into underground installations and they started doing the opening portals and dealing with the entities coming out, trying to get technology. You have to sign a waiver before you even went into the facility saying that you would not say the name Jesus Christ. So that just proves to you that the name has a lot of power towards evil. If that had an effect on an entity from another portal, that just makes me feel a lot better. even the name itself. If the name itself.
So wait, where is this at that they couldn't say that?
When the military took over Jack Parsons' experiments, they kept conducting more experiments. So they started doing these experiments in underground installations. That's where other people that would come in and be working with the program would come into work, and they had to sign a waiver basically stating that you would never say the name Jesus Christ, even as a curse word. So that invokes power. It's not of God. Next week, we'll be getting into Colonel Michael Aquino and occultism in the military. And remember, like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification so you can be socially calibrated.
Your particular assignment is G14 classified.